Mother rucker. What's going on, guys? Jack Hello here, and today I have an interesting video. I'm actually going to be going over my biggest losing trade of 2023 thus far. Today is March 21st, about 25% through the year. Only 1 week left of trading before March is over, and I unfortunately got stuck in a very sticky situation.
Looks like we got ourselves a sticky situation
Yesterday into today, and that was on this stock LYLT. What happened was these were the stocks that were running, right? These stocks that said they were going to go bankrupt. So for example, EBBY, huge sell-off, then huge squeeze up after announcing that they potentially could go bankrupt. Then you have CVNA,
example,
huge move up after announcing that they potentially could go bankrupt. Then you have SRNE,
for example,
huge move after they announced that they potentially could go bankrupt. And this one looks very similar to LYLT. LYLT, I actually bought it this day when it got huge volume, took a small loss, next day sold off 2 days in a row, and ended up gapping up the following day, which was yesterday. This was yesterday's price action. Had a nice little gap up, came in, and then just ripped faces.
I will personally rip your face off.
From 15 cents all the way up to roughly 30 cents. So the stock doubled within, what is that? 5, 10, 15, 20. I mean, basically an hour before the first trading had ended during regular market hours, the stock completely ripped. And I was looking at it for a swing, but I wanted to see a big dip and then a recovery and a hold. So we got a big dip from 30 to 15, very big dip. And then a bounce all the way up to 23, a pullback back down to 18, and another bounce back to 24. And then we got this perfect sideways consolidation, which lured me into thinking that this would be a potential long, risking this support level. And ideally, you get a push over this 22, and you close maybe around this 25 area, and then you gap up, and you're 35, you're 37, you're 30, something like that. And unfortunately, here in after hours, it just sold off on, as you can see, almost no volume, right? This...
What was that?
Sold off on no volume. And hold on, folk. We're going to need to pause it here for a second, buddy.
I'm not your buddy. You fuck.
By the way, you're
The greatest of all time, the GOAT.
at Call of Duty. And unfortunately, in after hours, the company came out with a press release, a filing, whatever you want to call it, and they said, hey, we're actually going to the OTC market tomorrow, and we're going to be trading under ticker symbol LYLTQ, which made sense of why this was selling off on no volume, because people who saw that wanted to get out. And there's some volume, but this maybe traded like 1 or 2 million shares in after hours, and I had 500,000 shares. And I basically just said, you know what? I'm fucked. I'm fucked. Because here you can see that it's trading 5 million shares, 10 million, 11 million, 10 million. So for me buying 500,000 shares, I didn't think it would be that much to sell at market open the next day. But when the company comes out with bad news and there's no volume in after hours and the stock's dropping from 20 cents to 14 cents, you're so that's what happened, and today it opened up on LYLTQ. Stock opened up, trading once again, no volume at all. The stock dropped from 13 cents, and I was holding and hoping, thinking hopefully this thing comes back and I can sell and trade more volume. It just fucking dumped, and I ended up just puking my shares right here. Jack. Nope, that doesn't work. Puked my shares out, and it basically caused a severe $70,000 loss, almost 71 grand. As you can see, like I said, entering at 20 cents, selling at 7 cents for a disgusting loss. So that was my biggest loss of the year so far. And the lessons that I take away from this strategy of stocks isn't working anymore. I did really good on BBBY, I did very good on Carvana. That's why I had so much size on this stock. I knew that the potential risk, I thought worst case, it goes down to 15 and I lose like 25 grand. And I thought, best case, this thing rips up to 50, 60 cents. This thing rips up to 60 cents in a couple days and I make 100,000 or 150,000 or whatever. because my stats told me to size into this pattern because this is where I was making my money. So no, I'm not upset with the loss. My heart didn't sing. Nothing happened. I took my loss.
Damn straight.
On the bright side of the day, I had another trade, FRC. This is a bankrupt stock. I'm not going to get too into this, but basically it's down huge, trading huge volume. And I was looking at it for the first green day. And I actually scooped some shares up yesterday around this area, around this 13-14 area, and I was down on my position in after hours. I didn't have a ton of size, keep that in mind. I had smaller size on this trade. It gapped up and I ended up selling my position here for a small win. When it dipped down and held this area around $15, I rebought my position, risking the support level at 1470. So went long here, risking this level, and I honestly had a pretty greedy goal of $20 a share because that was the level that I started failing from yesterday. If you draw your line right here, you have about $20 a share, which is this low over here, which is this consolidation area. So that was my goal. And it was a very advantageous risk to reward situation where I'm getting in at 15.15 and I'm risking 30 to 50 cents with slippage, and I'm putting myself in a position to make $3, $4, $5 a share. So the trade worked out pretty well and we got a huge spike. I ended up not selling any because I'm greedy, and it dipped back down and I added 25% more to my position right here. And then we got another big move up, and my goal was to sell when the trend broke.
Why are you yelling at me?
So as you can see, it was hurling $15 a share, then it was hurling $15.70, and then it was hurling around 17. You know, I had a weird feeling here, that's why I sold some, and then I sold the rest on this crack. Ended up being an okay move because it did have a hard dip, but then it ripped up to 19. And as you can see here, this was just me flipping some shares after I got a little bit bored, and I added a few more grand. So I bought the dips and sold the pops a few times, and I made money on 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. I was up on this one, but I ended up losing or breaking even on it, and then I made a little bit more here. This is just like $500 to $1,000 adding up, added on a little bit more to my position, and ended up recouping $37,000 of my loss. So pretty happy about that. If this thing gapped down and I was already long from, like I said, the 14 area, and it gapped down, it would have been probably a 6-figure red day. But since it gapped up and worked, I ended up only losing roughly 35 grand on the day, which is an okay loss for me. I can live, right? I can live. So happy about that. Sometimes this happens. Sometimes you get unlucky and stocks are going to drop negative news. The best thing that I did was not add to my position into an illiquid piece of crap. I focused on the trade that was working. I scaled into it. I maximized the trade best that I could, and I moved back half my losses. And that's what a good trader does. They keep the head and they're focused, right? They keep the plan and everything. So I'm really happy about it, and moving forward, the market feels a lot slower to me. Tomorrow, we have some really big news on the markets on QQQ and SPY. We're going to have the FOMC decision if they're going to raise rates or pause rates or whatever it's going to be. The market's looking bearish going into it. I think it'll most likely be 25 BPS, and it probably will go up from there, in my opinion. But we'll see. You know, if they pause rates, it probably rips too. And it could dump on 25 BPS as well. But yeah, that's the SPY right there. We're going to see what happens. Got volume coming in from all the banking stocks. And that's what I got. All right, guys. Jackaroo out.
Road.